Hello, St. David's. My name is Gary Dunsmore, and I'm your Finance Committee Chairman. I'm going to spend the next few minutes with you talking about St. David's Ministries and how your contributions are being used at St. David's and the challenges facing us in the coming year. Over the past several weeks, the Stewardship Committee has highlighted many of the ways your financial support helps St. David's and our community. There are over 75 ministries and a preschool serving our parishioners and the communities surrounding St. David's. Some of these are high profile, like your youth and children's programs, and others quietly serve, like the Pearshaw Ministry or the Parish Health Ministry. We hope you found these meditations and videos informative and inspirational. So where does your money go? This chart shows the breakdown of our budget based on expense category. Excluding the preschool, it takes about $1.9 million annually to fuel the engine known as St. David's. Since we are a service-oriented organization, most of your contributions go to pay salaries and benefits. St. David's has 2 full-time priests, part-time Hispanic priest, children and youth lay ministers, children and adult choir directors, and 8 full and part-time employees, supporting our clergy and professional staff. 15% of our budget is spent on outreach and diocesan support. These dollars go to our outside ministries like the Honduras Mission, North Fulton Community Charities, Homestretch, the Drake House, Trunk or Treat, Camp Michael, and many more. The direct expenses of worship and music, Christian education, and fellowship make up the program category and pays for things like flowers, altar supplies, sheet music, guest musicians, maintenance of our organ and pianos, curriculum for our education programs, EYC, and the many celebrations we have each year to build relationships with each other. 6% is administrative costs, and this is our smallest category. Office supplies and communication expenses make up the bulk of administrative costs. With the current pandemic, our virtual capabilities have become critical to St. David's ongoing operation as a church. And finally, the brick and mortar in our buildings holds it all together. Over $280,000 of our budget goes to pay principal and interest on our $3.6 million mortgage. Adding maintenance costs, utilities, and insurance, facilities consumes more than 1/4 of our total operating budget. On this chart, we've allocated the labor and overhead costs to the various ministries. The largest part of our budget educates our children, youth, and adults, and builds relationships between parishioners. Mission and outreach is next at 29%, then worship and music at 23%, and administration at 6%. So how do we pay for all these ministries? As you can see from this chart, your pledges provide 78% of our income. In 2020, 336 families pledged $1.4 million to support St. David's mission. Plate offerings, donations from visitors, and those parishioners who have not made a pledge makes up only 8%. Program fees from retreats, men's breakfasts, dinner meetings, and other events are 3%. And other income, which includes rent we charge outside organizations for using our facilities, income from our investments, and previously designated funds makes up 11%. Unfortunately, pledges and other anticipated donations in 2020 are not going to be enough to cover our expenses. We're advised a drop-off in income could be expected as we transitioned to a new rector. So we plan to dip into our reserves to meet the needs of the parish this year. The pandemic has also affected our financial picture. Since we can't gather together, many of our programs are on pause, which means we are spending less, but we are also collecting less, particularly in program rental fees and, of course, plate donations. We know this year has been financially difficult for many of you as well. We thank those of you who have been able to keep up to date with your pledge and encourage non-pledging members to continuing to support St. David's by donating online or by mail. St. David's was also blessed by a couple of COVID-19 related secular developments. We were granted a payroll protection program loan from Small Business Administration, and Renaissance Bank, who holds our mortgage, gave us a 90-day deferral on our payments. Both of these programs will help us reduce our operating deficit in 2020. Looking to the future, and assuming we return to church as usual next year, we're projecting our operating expenses will be about $1.9 million, which is on par with our pre-COVID budget for 2020. If St. David's is to balance the budget in 2021, we'll need pledges of about $1.7 million. However, at our current giving levels, parish contributions would fall short of our needs again next year. So, this is what we really need to discuss. St. David's pledge contributions have been declining over the past several years. If St. David's is to continue to serve this parish community, we need to break this trend and provide for our new rector with the resources he or she may need to lead us into the next decade. Based on information in our parish-wide surveys, you have the resources to make this happen. The data tells us that current pledges represent about 2% of our parish-wide estimated annual household income. As we all know, the biblical standard is the tithe, or 10%. While we encourage everyone to strive to this goal, if we could just increase our collective parish-wide giving to 3%, we would be more than able to meet our budget and continue God's work here at St. David's. So, on behalf of the clergy, vestry, stewardship, and finance committees, I ask you to unveil your hearts through prayerful giving, one of the marks of discipleship, and please make your pledge by November 1st and show Him the money.